How's everybody doing? You know, we're gonna jump right in because I don't know if I'm gonna get cut. As you can see, the lighting is horrible. I'm using another phone system, and the light is weak. So I'm putting all kinds of lights, and it's terrible. But we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it, and we're still talking about incompatibility of signs. We're talking about Gemini and Virgo. Let me adjust this light because I just look terrible. I think that's a little better now. A little better. Right. I told you I'm a little bit of a narcissist. Oh, God. One day, though, I'm going to tell you my story. But anyway, talking about incompatibility of signs, Gemini and Virgo, even though they are both good, they're both good signs. They're both ruled by the planetary ruler, Mercury. Mercury rules Virgo and it rules Gemini. So we're dealing with a mutable emphasis here. For both Virgo and Gemini are mutable signs. So therefore, because they're mutable signs, mutable and immutable, and then you have a harmonizing of the elements. You have earth and air is not really a compatible element. It is a square. However, we are still going to consider this combination compatibility of signs because they're ruled by the same planet and they share the same modality. There's a kingship here. Yes, it's not going to be an easy kingship. It's not a kingship that you're going to recognize right away. And even if you do recognize it right away, it doesn't mean that you're going to act in accord to that kingship. Like I said, it is a sibling relationship. And sometimes siblings have adversarial relationships. The typical sister adversary, or the brother-sister competing for the love of the mother or the father. So siblings by nature have an adversarial relationship, and Gemini rules siblings and rules adversarial relationships. Okay. Also, Gemini is a sign that demonstrates polarity and represents opposing forces. So Geminis can say one thing but do another. So if you want to have a Gemini man, particularly a Gemini man, the Virgo woman being so intelligent and sexy and earthy will slay Mr. Gemini. And Mr. Gemini, because he loves sex and he loves the challenge, and there ain't no better challenge than the Virgo girl and the Aquarius girl. Ooh, let me tell you, when it comes to the Virgo girl or the Aquarian woman, as delicious as these women are, eye candy and a little more, you're not going to be able to conquer these women that easily, Mr. Gemini. I don't care how sexy you are. These women have to be conquered here. And if they're not conquered here, it's good dick lost to these women because they ain't going to want nothing to do with you. Believe that, Mr. Gemini. Now, let's flip it, because I think I talk enough about the Gemini man and the Virgo girl, or something they are like. I want to flip it a little bit. Let's say that Gemini, the woman is Gemini. Maybe I talked about the Gemini woman before. I'm not sure. It's been quite a while since I did part one. But we're going to go back and forth because they're really actually both the same. If we're talking about the Gemini woman with the Virgo man, the Gemini woman might abuse the Virgo man because the Virgo man is sensitive. He's sensitive and he's sentimental. And this can be true of all four types. So the Gemini woman if we're dealing with a Virgo man that doesn't know himself completely, the Gemini woman, being astute and perceptive, will see that. Now she can take that information that she perceives about her Virgo man and seek to destroy him, or seek to elevate him, or heal him. Miss Gemini, which route you gonna choose? This is another combination that depends a lot on factors such as age, emotional maturity, education, upbringing, and grooming. Whether they're young, before age 30, or past age 30, past their prime and heading towards middle age. This combination is a paradoxical combination, because even though these are siblings on a soul level, we can call that a twin flame or a twin soul, but more so a twin flame rather than a twin soul. So if we're dealing with, and Gemini represents that concept of the twin soul or the twin flame. But in this case, we are going to go with twin flame. And what does that mean when I talk about the twin flame? We talk about the twin flame in reference that you are meeting someone who's similar to you in every single way. Morally, spiritually, psychologically. It's like another brother or from another mother, or another sister from another mother. And when you're dealing with twin souls, or twin flames rather, you're dealing with people that share in the same values. But you can also have twin flames that have opposing values. And this can also, and it seems to be most likely the case in dealing with the elemental square. So in this combination, because there's an elemental square, there's going to be irreconcilable differences or differences of philosophy. Now, that could be one case. Another case could be, though, that Virgo, now switching to Virgo, Virgo can be so institutionalized in his thinking and so pragmatic and so methodical and very regimented that it almost is a form in itself of a fixity, because that kind of doesn't change in Virgo, even though it's a mutable sign. Gemini woman may teeter-totter around that kind of constitution, because we can't call it a fixity because Virgo is not a fixed sign. But it certainly is a firm constitution with Virgo. And not only is that a requirement of his, for his own being, he requires that in the people that he's with, those that he loves, those that have managed to capture his heart. They have to be just as pragmatic and just as regimented as he is, in order for him to connect with them. The initial attraction that a Virgo man will have towards a Gemini woman will be her mind. It will be her mind. And it will be her sense of intellectual power and breadth. Oh my God, Gemini is wonderful that. You have to understand that, especially the Gemini woman, she loves parties. Loves, you would think that it's Libra. And Libra does. And Libra gets the credit being a cardinal sign. But if truth be known, it is Gemini that loves to go out and dance and mingle and socialize and have a house full of guests and full of people of all kinds. Gemini. She is a social butterfly. She's actually quite good for Virgo, especially for the Virgo man. Because the Virgo man, and that's all four types, are rather shy. They can be lonely in the inside and feel lonely among a madding crowd. Because Virgo understands it's the hermit in occult philosophy, the one that carries his own light, the ones that carries the torch. So what does that mean? Virgo, the one that carries the light, right? The hermit in the tarot card. Understand what that means. Virgo can survive and can exist without you. His wisdom is his own light. And remember, Virgo represents the hidden Christ. So Virgo knows, as all Virgos, including myself, we know how to survive with nobody or with anybody. So, and that's what makes us such excellent chameleons. You know, pulling from Pisces. We can survive anything thrown at us. Anything. Just like Scorpio. Again, the connection between Virgo and Scorpio. We are powerful that way. Gemini, especially the Gemini woman, the Gemini female, may not be that much capable. Well, no, let me take that back. She could be capable if she focuses, but does she want to? That's another question. She'd rather live in her mind and make solutions in her mind rather than face the realities of mundane life, which is hard and painful. That's where Virgo comes in, the earth sign. We can handle anything that comes at us, and we can be excellent anchors towards the Gemini woman. The question becomes that of maturity and evolution. Is this couple young? Is this couple entering their prime? Or their middle age? Well, if we're dealing with, someone below a certain age, let's say below age 30, we're dealing with a different psychology. These are people that are still in the level of self-discovery. With Gemini, you have to understand, Gemini is the eternal child of the zodiac, okay? Its youthful, energetic, and open-minded approach to love is a breath of fresh air. It really is. Now, for such a likable sign now, Gemini compatibility is tricky. It truly is complex. Okay? Gemini is highly intelligent and very sociable. So the most promising relationships are likely to emerge naturally from the environment of Gemini, man or woman's many associates. Because, they move in all kinds of circles. And they have all kinds of different friends and acquaintances and associates. So understand that the Gemini person, if they're going to fall for somebody, they're going to fall for somebody that's already in their entourage, that's a friend. So if you are a Virgo and you are interested in a Gemini man or woman, if you are a Virgo woman interested in a Gemini man or vice versa, it is most likely that you already know who they are. Because Geminis, they like to go to bed with their friends. Yeah, they do. So, and they might fall for their friends. So it is most likely that if you fall for a Gemini or you attract a Gemini, it is most likely that you already know something about him, because there's more than just friendship. With Gemini's road, Gemini man or Gemini woman, their road towards sexual attraction is that they already have to be friends with you. They're not going to go out and have random, they do kind of go out and do have random sex. That's the trickster. That's the dark side of Gemini. We're going to get to him in a little while. But if we're dealing with the generic Gemini, he's going to have friends and he's going to fall in love or want to have a sexual escapade with someone that is probably a friend. Okay? Absolutely. And let me tell you, Gemini is it's an air sign, so it's very rational, which when it comes to love and relationship, it has both its ups and downs, because Gemini likes to objectify, and that's what it really feel from its heart. It is resilient in love. Gemini is going to fight love, both the man and the woman. No, it is not like the Leo man or the Leo woman that's going to welcome the love, and they're going to welcome the drama and the pain and the extra that comes with it. Not Gemini. Mr. Gemini, Mrs. Gemini, it scares them. It scares them. So they'll move very gingerly towards it. Virgo, being his sexy and sly himself, were able to woo the Gemini woman, because he's already fascinated by her, and she's fascinated by him too. We'll flip it. If it's the Gemini man, he's gonna be, like I said, gaga Google over the strikingly beautiful Virgo woman, with her sexy legs and sexy innocent self. But understand that for this relationship to work, the Gemini man as well as the Virgo woman, or vice versa, both of them are not very good when it comes to being emotional and being open and being expository. Both of them have issues. Oh, yes, they do. So then what happens? What can you do? What are you supposed to do? How do you get past that barrier? Well, we're going to jump right in, and we're going to go into specific details. I know, right? I'm acting like I've been jumping in, but no, it's so much to tell you. Look. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them. It's a lot of information, so sometimes I just have to realize what I'm going to say and what I cannot say that's going to be worth your while. Okay, so understand that to get a better handle of who you are, okay, which will help you to learn about your relationships too, you have to try to get a birth chart. See, this is the type of combination where you actually are going to need a birth chart. Done. You have to. And you're going to have to spend the money. I'm telling you. Or go online. You can go to whatisastrology.com. I use it. And it's very good. They have a free birth chart. You can put on your information. And you can put on your chart. And hopefully, the stuff they give is generic. It will never be like a professional astrologer interpreting a chart for you. But at least it's a start. Okay? So it's whatisastrology.com. It's what-is-astrology.com. And it's great. This is one of those combinations where you need to know exactly what you're dealing with, because both signs are highly complex. So you don't want to give something like that to chance. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay? As astrology compatibility, you have to understand, is not an exact science. But experienced astrologers find that compatibility with Gemini largely depends upon how well emotionally mature each partner is. By and large, Gemini's slight emotional aloofness means that you don't like to commit in a hurry. It's almost as if you're keeping all your options open in case something better comes along. That's how Gemini functions. See, as you can imagine, this doesn't always go down too well with any other sign, especially Virgo. See, if we're dealing with a Gemini man, he will be like so thoughtless, truly hurting the Virgo girl. And the Virgo girl will probably internalize the actions of a Gemini man, not really believing that it's her fault, when it really may not have anything to do with her. But it has to do with the restlessness nature of Mr. Gemini and his need to take to the streets. That's something that the Virgo girl is not going to fully understand unless he's open with her and communicating that to her. And that's why it truly depends, this combination, the level of maturity that you are dealing with a Gemini man. And I'm fortunately, and I'm not here to trash Mr. Gemini, but again, it has not been a collective experience that the Gemini man is that mature. We're dealing here with someone that clearly has to be past age 30. And even then, the Gemini man never really grows up. He is the eternal boy of the zodiac. Aries is the baby. The baby. But Mr. Gemini is the boy. And Leo is the adolescent. And Virgo is the adult. So understand that you have an adult represented by Virgo dating a boy or a girl. So in this situation, who will be in charge? Who's the boss? Clearly, it will be mutable Earth. It will be the Virgo girl. Or the Virgo man. Because Gemini, it's not that she is not stable. It's not that even that whether she wants to or not. It's that her soul structure, her spirit structure is that of freedom. She's not the most mundane, domestic girl in the zodiac. But that don't mean that she cannot be. But understand that her spirit, her soul essence is to be free. And that freedom also entails being free from the mundane. The Gemini woman, if she's not happy in a relationship with any man, not just a Virgo man, she will tend to escape. She will escape. Go out somewhere off. Remember, the opposite of Gemini is Sagittarius, okay? She can take trips, head trips in her mind and be so far away, you don't know when she left and if she'll ever come back. Ooh. She's something else, this Gemini girl. But it's okay. Because the Virgo man or the Virgo woman, they ain't no motherfucking joke either. They ain't no fucking joke either. So I think they do well together. They can both sling and whip. I mean, listen, it's great. It's great. Let me tell you one thing. I dated a Gemini woman when I was in my 20s. And I tell you, she kept me on my toes. But I kept her on her toes too. So, and there's something to be said about that. Because Gemini, especially the man and the woman, they like things, they cannot get bored with you. You cannot let them become bored with you. You're going to have to develop an alter ego or something to keep the Gemini man and the Gemini woman interested. And you don't reveal anything to these people. You keep them guessing. Don't spill all your pains to them, because they certainly ain't going to do it for you either. You got to keep them guessing. And that's what's going to spark fire and interest in the relationship. It will sustain it. But at the same time, there has to be equal understanding. And both of you still have to have a certain level of respect for each other. And if you cannot find where that can be, look towards the intellect. Both Gemini and Virgos, you both like to read. You both love intellectual discourses. And that can be a point for you guys to begin to weave together a fusion where you can develop a relationship of a common ground. Because both of you are such polar opposites and are so complex that it can pull you guys apart and become distant to each other, or you can make it work by sharing each other's resources of your knowledge. And with that kind of intellectual power, that it's impossible for both of you not to make this relationship work. In fact, both of you will look stupid if you don't make your relationship work, because you're supposed to be the smartest motherfuckers in the zodiac. Both of you. So if you cannot make this work, then what the fuck does that say about the rest of us? So you are quite capable of making this work. Gemini, the woman, she's beautiful. The Gemini man, he's sexy. The Virgo man, he's also sexy. And the Virgo woman, well, I can't say enough about her. She's Lady Chatterley. But understand that everything has to go through its evolution. And one of the things that's important for you to understand, Mr. Gemini or Mrs. Gemini and Mr. Virgo and Mrs. Virgo is that sometimes you have to go through conflict. You have to go through the metamorphosis of change and uncomfortability for you to get at the core as to who you guys are as individuals. Because if you don't get to tap into that core individuality within the two of you, you cannot make your relationship work. And we're done with this segment.